as she talks about life. Everyday people just trying to make it through life. Keep it 100 with Michelle as she talks about life.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Keep It 100 with Michelle A. I am super excited about this segment because I get an opportunity to interview my BFF. Super excited about that. Listen, I want you guys to take and to share this message. We are going to be talking about his book, which the title is Her Lab and His Safe Place. Her Lab and His Safe Place. So I'm interested in trying to see how he got this started, how he got up with this title and all that super stuff. So again, please take and share this video, share it, and do watch parties, all that good stuff. So I'm going to bring him up. He's known as Prophet Michael Claiborne, but tonight we are going to talk to the author. We are going to talk to the author, Michael. All right. So I'm going to bring him on up.
Hey, BFF. How are you? I'm excited.
I'm good. Super excited to have you on this show and to not really talk about the prophetic tonight. Wow. Well, it'll probably come up anyway. So go ahead and just invite yourself, introduce yourself for people who don't know you. Let everybody know who you are and where you're from.
Absolutely. Well, I am excited. Like this is my first interview of many that's coming up in the next few weeks. And I said, what better person to say yes to do my first interview than my BFF. Man, this is so exciting because 20-something years now, we have been best friends for 20-something years. It's probably 23, 24 years that we have been best friends, and we have seen each other through so many ups and downs, cried together, laughed together, and praised God together. And I am excited. We've supported each other in everything, you know, when it comes to your show, I'm like, absolutely. All you have to do is call. It can be last minute. Listen, I need you. And I am, yes, absolutely there, as well as you have supported me in every area of my life. And so I'm excited tonight to really be here. And one thing I know is you keep it 100. So I know it's not going to be any softball questions as people would like to do. You don't do them at all.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
No, you have an audience to keep your brand with, and your audience are not looking for any of the softball stuff. They're looking for you to just share as well. So I'm excited tonight to be here. My name is my government name. I say it today because so many people don't know it, but my government name is Michael Claiborne. But most people, at least in the church world, knows me as Prophet Claiborne. And most of my business people, especially some of the boards that I sit on, they know Pastor Mike. And so it's always some other title that is attached to it. But not too many people know just Michael Claiborne. My family definitely, absolutely knows who I am and know that name. And so I'm excited. Of course, obviously, that side of me. But we talk about the preaching side so much, and that's because that's where we met. We met through revival and through services. And so I'm from Philly originally. I am a true Philly boy, 100%, no matter what city I go through, what state. People know my look. The greatest city in America is Philly. And people know my look is Philly, my style is Philly, my attitude and my action. I'm a Philly boy 100%. I'm a cheesesteak boy, pretzels, all 9 yards. Born and raised in Philly my whole life, but I've traveled the world. I've been so blessed through ministry to travel the absolute world, not just the United States, but I've been to Jamaica, Turks and Caicos Island, London, Bahamas, Canada, India. I've been to China. I've been around the world because of the doors that God has opened through ministry. And I just believe he's not yet through with me.
Okay, good. Listen, I'm looking at this raggedy hat that you got on, boss. Oh, get out of here. But anyway. Okay, so listen. So what is the topic? I see Tony's watching. Hi, Tony. Okay, so what is the topic of this amazing book, this bestseller book? What's the name of it?
Well, the name of the book is called Her Lap, His Safe Place. The subtitle is His Safe Place. And so that the book comes from, it's a very empowering book. It's going to empower, encourage, lift up both men and women. And so it is rare that we have a book that is written from a man's perspective of his understanding of what he needs from his woman. And so oftentimes we hear or see movies, they have a whole channel that is dedicated to women, the Lifetime channel that is dedicated to women. BET has a woman's channel. And so there are channels and there are things out there all the time, but there is no station, there is no channel, there is no space that is set aside for building up and encouraging men, or at least hearing our truth. Hearing from a man's perspective, okay, but not from a badgering perspective, but from a man's perspective.
Okay, so most people would say, well, that's what you got to church for. Go to church.
No, and here's the great thing about the church. The modern church has become more open to sharing. But growing up where we grew up, it was always the spiritual side of me. I often tell people, I said, I have the spiritual thing down pat. We went to church. I grew up going to church Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. We went to Bible study on Tuesday. We went to church on Thursday. Of course, we had rehearsals in between that. I had the spiritual side down pat, but it was other parts of me that I didn't have a handle on. It was the other parts of me that I didn't know because we were too busy building the spiritual side, and found out that there was a lot of our other ends that were broken, because you have people who are spiritual, but they have health issues. They don't know how to eat properly. They don't understand dieting. They don't know how to work out, but they got the spiritual part, or they're spiritual and they're broke. Or they're spiritual and their marriage is a mess. You understand what I'm saying? So it was the other side that people never addressed that I always wanted to dig in. And in my preaching, you've heard it, I address a lot of the other side of a man, the holistic man.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so let me ask this question, and we're getting to the book. What the heck do you know about relationship to be telling somebody about a relationship? What the heck you know? And I said heck nicely, but what do you know about relationship to be able to tell someone else about it?
I am a relationship ambassador. I love relationship. And people listen to me when I talk about relationship, because I've been dealing with them and real passionate about them since I was a teenager. I always knew that there was a way of winning in relationship. There's a way of winning, and not just be in relationship and we're just together and we're just going along to get along, but more or less being in relationships to get understanding how can we be happy in a relationship. There were so many people that I knew were in relationship, but they were not happy. And so I began to really embrace that side of relationship all my life. I mean, I know good and bad relationships. I have been a part of helping other people. People bring their issues to me. People ask me questions. I teach a lot. I remember in one of my church, I taught for 2 months on relationship. Because here's the thing. We talk about we have a relationship with God, but we don't have a relationship with our spouse. There are a lot of women that I grew up with in church, older women that we grew up in church. People didn't even know they were married.
Wow.
You saw a mother, you saw the usher, you saw the praise, or what we call the devotional service leader. She was there. You saw kids, but you didn't know that there was a husband that was home.
Well, well, you know what? God, I don't even know, Michael. Well,
Yes.
before we even jump to relationship, husband and wife, most people, they have a dysfunctional relationship with their family.
Absolutely.
Some even have a dysfunctional relationship just with their self and their kids. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
how can I love or protect or either share anything with anybody else if I don't even know how to start with my family? So what's your
Absolutely.
take on that?
And here's the biggest the caveat to that is that people have a struggle with relationships everywhere around, but they have nowhere of learning. Let's come from a man's perspective. If the fact that I'm raised in a single home, like I have been, my mother raised 6 children with no fathers. So I'm raised in a single home. How is it that and most of the time mothers are dealing with issues of being single. So I never see my mother being loved on. Never. I never see anyone speak well to my mother as far as a man. So she's raising children. She has to be both nurturer and disciplinary, which brings about a really crazy thing as far as relationship with her children. Because how do you be a nurturer, but then you don't beat the brakes off me? So now my relationship is confused because they're in a home where you have a mother and father. There's usually one that's a disciplinary, and then there's one that's the nurturer. Exactly. But when the single mother, and because you're a single mom, when you got to be both, that then just brought about a whole confusion now, because how do you beat the brakes off me and then be like, come on, let's go get some ice cream? And so now I'm confused. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, which side am I dealing with today? So, okay, I have no understanding in that. I'm watching my mother not being loved on, not being spoken well. She goes to bed by herself. She wakes up by herself. I'm watching her navigate life alone. So where am I learning? Now I have no ground, no foundation, no way to learn how to be in relationship parent-wise, or how to be in relationship as far as male to female. So where do I get my learning? I get my learning from the street, from the hard knocks. And who knows if what they're teaching me by example is the right thing? Well, I see the gentleman on the corner at the barbershop. They're talking about not their wives. They're talking about the girl that brought her, the single mother that brought her kids. They talking about, how do I bag her? They talking about
excuse me, what does bag mean? I don't know what bag means.
I told you I have my Philly lingo, so
how do you have sex with her or something like that?
How do I get her? How do I pull her? So here's a guy in the barbershop that I know is married, but now he's talking about how to get with this girl. Now he's the coolest guy in the neighborhood. So how do I not learn relationship from him? I'm going to learn from him because this is one of the cooler fathers in the neighborhood, one of the men that I know in the neighborhood, and he's talking about getting this girl and he has that girl. And so, wait a minute, this must be a cool thing. This must be an okay thing. And so what happens is, we as sons of the community learn what the fathers of the community teach, at least where I come from. Now, this new generation don't have any fathers of the community. This new generation is left without any help. And so how do they learn relationships at all? Because they have no help.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So before a man even comes in a relationship looking to lay on a woman's lap, I mean, he's come. I won't say he because I don't know what your book is saying. We're gonna get there. But most men already give us this sternness, this hardness, like they are the protectors and they don't need us. So how do we know?
Well, because now he has to be that way. Now, remind you, he has to be that way because that's all he know. My mother, remember now, the nurturer and the disciplinary, my mother is teaching me to be a strong boy. You know, the modern day is you're the man of the house. So now you take this little boy, this 6-year-old, this 7-year-old, this 8-year-old, and you put a responsibility on him that he should have never had. Because now you say to him, you're my little man. You're the man of the house. And now he has a responsibility, so he no longer knows how to be a child or a kid because you're saying you're the man of the house.
Exactly.
So now I come into a relationship with a girl that I don't know how to do the love thing, although I know parts of me because of how God created us needs it, wants it, but I don't know how. Because remember now, if 2 kids are in the house, both the same age, both of them fall, they're going to pick the girl up. They're going to love on her, sit on her knee, wipe her boo-boo, kiss her boo-boo, talking about, come on, don't you go, and they will let her cry. I fall as the son. Get up. You get up, be a big boy, be a man. Now so I am taught from the door to suppress my emotions,
Exactly.
to suppress my feelings from the door. So although I need you and want that lap from you, I don't know how to ask for that lap or and we'll get to that in the book, or receive that lap, because sometimes the lap is presented, but I don't know how to receive it. Sometimes the lap is not presented, but I don't know how to ask for it. And sometimes you don't have a lap at all, and I don't know how to show you it.
Okay.
So now, we'll deal with those 3. You need to write that down.
Okay. All right. So that's what I was doing. I wanted you to paint this picture because most men are taught to be strong, taught to be stern. Most men are taught to I'll say hide their emotions or hide their feelings. So us as women, we're looking like when we see a man who's emotional or what have you, we're like, what the heck is going on? You know, what have you? But your book is saying her lap is his safe place. So it provoked you to write this book.
Well, the foundation, and I'm glad that you asked, the foundation of this book comes from the story of Samson and Delilah. Oftentimes people have beat up on this woman, and they've only taken one nugget from that story. And the nugget that they take from that story is just the deceptive part, which we deal with that in the book. I don't leave it out. We deal with the haircut in the book. But before I get there, let's go back. What if there were some things that you missed about this story? What if there were some nuggets and I unpack the nuggets that you missed with this story, speaking about a man who from birth, he was told by God to his parents, he had to be strong from birth. So he never gets a chance to be a vulnerable child. He never gets the chance to be to be emotional, because from birth, so you do know if that came from God, they are raising him. You're strong. You're a strong man. But I promise you, he had some weak moments, even if they were by himself. How about this weak moment? I'm not that strong, or I'm not as strong as I appear, or I'm not that strong all the time. But watch this now. The people who's raising me expects me to be strong. So when I have a weak moment, I have to have it by myself.
That's the life of most men. That go ahead, because that's really the life of most men.
Yes. So when I have, and I don't mean weak in mistakes, but I'm talking, how about weak in low self-esteem? How about weak in, I'm just not feeling that today. A woman can wake up in the morning and just not feel the day. And it's okay. She can go into work and be like, look, y'all, don't bother me today. I'm not feeling the day. I woke up like this. As a matter of fact, there's a song, even though it's about being looking good and beautiful, but a woman can simply say, I woke up like this. But a man, from the moment that he steps out the door, he has to, even if it's a false narrative, he has to come in always having, this is about the day. I'm strong. He can never say, I'm not having a good day. He can never say, I woke up not feeling myself. If he says that, he is automatically looked cross-eyed or look side-eyed or look funny. So although he's having that moment privately. Mm-hmm. He's having it privately. And he will never share that moment with his boys. He's not going in the locker room and tell them that, because then they're going to look at him as a pansy. They're going to look at him as being soft. They're going to look at him as that. So he can't tell them this. Now, and Samson can't tell his parents that he's not really strong all the time, because they have been drilling that into him since birth. So where does he go? Where does he go when he just wants to be human? Where does he go when he just wants to be? I often say, growing up in relationships, one of my favorite saying is, I'm not a robot. Mm-hmm. I am human. I have human feelings. I have human emotions. And so why is it that I have to be careful with what I say to you to not hurt your feelings? But oftentimes you are not careful with what you say to me, because you feel like whatever you say to me, I can handle it. I should be able to deal with it. I should be able to accept it. And so I start off with Samson. His parents got him to be strong, but he has weak moments. And in those weak moments, one of the moments he have is he sees a woman that he wants to love. He sees wants to marry, because he never tells his parent, go get her for me because I love her. That's not what the scripture says. He says, go get her for me because she looks good to me. I want her. So he deals with just his flesh side. Right. In the midst of dealing with that, he never tells her the truth about who he is. It says he tells her a riddle. When a man really is not feeling you, he tells you a joke about who he really is. You don't know the truth.
That right there, that right there, that part. But go ahead.
You don't know the truth. I did a poll of 75 women, and I asked them this question. Can you tell me what your man's dreams, his goals, and his ideas are? Most of them would say, yeah, I think I know some of that. You may not know all of it, but you know some. But then when I asked this question, do you know his fears, his failures, his hurts, his broken areas, his weak moments? Do you know his secrets? Do you know that? Most women don't know it. You don't know those areas.
Oh, okay, right. And I definitely want you to get to the point of your book, right? But that part that you just said right there, most men will not allow a woman to see that, especially a woman that they so-called trust. And women, that's what we want. That's what we desire. We want to know that our spouse or whoever we're with feels comfortable enough to come run into. Well, I can't talk for all women.
That's not true.
I can't talk for all women.
Because that's not true.
I can't talk for all women. I can't go ahead. I can't talk for all women. But.
Because that's not a true statement. Because remember now, men have already had that experience, and they experience that is not true. You say it, but you don't really want to know those areas about me. You don't know. You don't want to know what's my kryptonite, and we'll deal with that later. You don't want to know. You say that. You say I want you to be strong and be sensitive, but I have to, my sensitivity still has to be curved, because if it's full in sensitivity, then what happens is I run the risk of you judging my sensitivity instead of saying, this is what I need for you. So women say it.
So wait,
But
okay. So author Michael Claiborne. So that is why you use wisdom, because now listen, I you know me, I want a strong black man, but I also want to know that he has a sensitive side. Now, as soon as I meet you, you're saying I'm scared of dogs and I'm afraid to do this, and you know, you start crying, then yes, I'm gonna step back and be like, yo, this is a punk. This is a whole punk here. So I believe that you have to use
what
wisdom.
if he is scared of dogs?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But what if he is scared of dogs? Maybe he don't want no dog in his house.
Listen, okay, but that's fine. If he's scared of dogs, at least show me.
Right. Oh, don't do it. Y'all stay with us. Y'all stay with us. She'll probably come back.
Oh, so it went out on the dog part.
Don't talk about no dogs. Maybe he's afraid of the dogs. I mean,
I don't know what the world happened. It went all the way out. But anyway, okay. So I'm just saying to use wisdom before you show all of. Now it's different when you're in a marriage, because I feel like in a marriage he should feel comfortable to be able to share his vulnerable part. And as a woman, she should be able, comfortable. But I was just talking about just meeting that individual. You agree?
Sure. Yes. Well, I do. And he's not going to show that side. It's not something that you can actually ask him directly. It's creating a space to allow him to be able to, baby, you can't come to me now, but I want you to know that I've created a space that whatever you need to talk to me about, I am her. I am her. Every man wants to know you are her. You're not only my cheerleader, but you are my fighter. You're not only my fighter, but I can come to you and share anything with you, and you're not going to look at me cross-eyed. What happens when you are the CEO, but you come home and I'm struggling with how the business is going. I'm having some moments that is happening with the business. I need to be able to come to you and be like, this is just not working for me, or this is a hurtful place. This is not good for me, and that you don't just stop at, well, man, get over it and go out there and do it. But that you and sometimes, you know this as a woman, we're not looking for answers. And I do deal with the woman who's the answer. Wow, that's a powerful chapter, that one. We're not looking for the always the answer. Sometimes we're looking for just the listening, just to give me the space to vent. Remember now, this is y'all word from women. Women sometimes just want to vent. They're not looking for the answer. They're not looking for the help. They want to vent. But it is rare that she opens that same door to allow him to vent. One of the most very powerful, it's a scene in a movie, and you're going to remember this because we old school. Do you remember Boys in the Hood? Okay, where Cuba Gooding best friend gets killed, and Cuba Gooding does not run to his father.
He runs to her.
He runs to Nia Long.
Yeah.
She allows him to swing and have all of his moments. She doesn't say anything, but watch how she gives him a lap. He first of all, he knew he could go to her.
Okay. That's good.
And be vulnerable. He was crying, so he's vulnerable. He's crying and he's angry and he wants to do something. And what does she do? She grabs him after. She does not prior to. She lets him have his moment. She doesn't stop him. She doesn't say man up. She doesn't say get over it. She lets him have his moment, and then she gives him a lap because she grabs him, she hugs him, and at that moment he knew that he could be this person to her and yet still be the guy from the hood, yet still be his boy, yet still be strong. But in her presence, watch this, there is no one else around, because a man really wants to be able to find the lap. It ain't his mama's lap. Now that's book number 3.
I applaud you. I applaud you because that's something big. When my husband comes along, he can have my lap, he can have my thigh, he can have my bosom, he can have, you know what I mean? Like he can have whatever he wants, but that's not what you're saying. You're not talking about body parts.
No.
You're literally talking about that you want that, or a man wants that individual to be able to be their safe place, to be able to share, you know what, I feel I'm broken, and you know, because a lot of men have a lot of secrets. And a lot of women don't know how to handle those secrets. They use those secrets against them.
Absolutely. So, okay. So here Samson is. Samson is he gets the woman. He's married her. Now we know story. He tells her the joke. We got to fast forward. He leaves and go home to his mama because he finds out that I told you. Watch this. He tells her a joke, even though it was supposed to be in a secret. And she dishonors because she doesn't know it's a riddle at that time. She dishonors. He gives her a test. He says, all right, you want to know what my secret is? Let me test you with this. Tell them if they know what this riddle is. If they can come back.
So this is his first wife, right?
His first wife.
Okay,
go ahead. His only wife.
Yeah, okay.
You're right. Another piece. And so he tells her, that's a powerful. He tells her, and she shares it. He tells her the answer. He said, this is the riddle, but this is the answer. He tells her both things. He tells her to share just the riddle, but she shares the riddle and the answer. So how can I trust now?
Wow.
You can I trust? Because I didn't even tell you my real secrets. I gave you a test and you failed the test.
And as a woman, she should be bold enough, or she should have been bold enough to just stand up against all odds, you know, because she was threatened. She was threatened for her life.
Yes.
You know, so she had to make a choice. I think she didn't make the right choice, but you know, just on her part, she was threatened.
She was threatened. But what happens when the world threatens your husband? Do you fall apart, or do you in that moment become his strength? Because that's the lap now. Because the lap cannot, while it is soft in nature, it is solid. You know, you're a woman. It is soft in nature, but it can hold a baby. No matter how grown the baby gets, Tasha is your baby, and still right now, she can sit on your lap and you can hold her. Because while your lap is, why? Because the mother lap never changes. Okay. And I can hold you as a newborn, and I can hold you as a grown adult. So in all phases, Tasha has sat on your lap, whether it's literally or mentally or emotionally, she has sat on your lap. You have given her that space. How is it that the children know mama's lap is safe? How is it And her spouse, who she sleeps with or lives with or married to, does not know the same thing. But she's always kept saying when to the children, that's the book number 3. It's powerful. Mama's Lap is very powerful because she's always presented it. Mama coming up to the school. Mama gonna fight for you, baby. Mama can see stuff that daddy never sees.
Mm-hmm.
That baby can scribble a crayon on a picture.
Honey,
And mama hanging on the refrigerator. And I'm as a father going, what is it? And mama's like, oh, that is so beautiful, baby. That is so gorgeous. Mama gonna hang it up. And as a father, because I don't know no better, I'm going, I don't see nothing. It looks like just crayons and scribble scrabble. But you make him think, or that girl think, she is awesome. Even then, when all you see beyond the lines. That's heavy. So that's that other book. But the Mama Lap is powerful. So now watch this. Now, Samson's wife, he goes home to his mother. He retreats back to his parents, where he knows his comfort zone. Because now I'm hurt, so I go back to my comfort zone. Whenever a man is hurt, he resorts back to what he knows. I'm gonna go hang out with my boys. I'm gonna go back to drinking. I'm gonna go out to smoke. I'm gonna go out to gamble. I'm gonna go hang out in my car. I'm gonna go play ball. I'm gonna go play video games. He goes back to his comfort zone because that is the area where he feels strong.
So listen, so because you also want to make sure that this is known too, that when he goes back to his comfort zone because he's been hurt, he also goes back with hurt, sometimes anger, sometimes pain and brokenness. So when he leaves from what he thought was his safety net, he leaves with all this other issue. I'll say even extra issue that also has created. Okay, so go ahead.
So he's not playing ball because he really likes ball. I know this area, but she's still here. I'm drinking, I'm gambling, but that is still here because now men deal with their emotions from a different place. Men deal with their emotions talking to themselves, and they're riding with themselves, and they're sharing with themselves. So men deal with emotions from a whole different space. So yeah, he goes back broken. He goes back to what he knows, but when he comes back after he gets himself together to his wife, he's experienced hurt number 2. Hurt number 2 is his wife is given to his best friend.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm the strongest man in the world. Wait, and this will mess up a man because wait, every man thinks he is the cat's meow. Every man thinks that he is the numero uno. Now his wife is given to his best friend. It sends him over the edge because remember now he's ego tripping. My parents all my life told me I'm strong. They told me all my life that I was this guy. And now my wife leaves me a stronger, for what in my mind, because it may not be true, a lesser or a weaker man. She goes to my best friend. So he's angry. His anger shows. We know he's burning up the crop. I want to move quick because I want to get to the end. He's burning up the crop. We know that. And the Bible says he sleeps with a prostitute all night. That's exactly the way it says.
So he runs from a safe place, a so-called safe place, to the arms of a whore.
Yes. Happens in most relationships. He runs to a prostitute. Why? Because she's able to deal with his outer man while his inner man is still broken. But at least he's getting that satisfaction, or at least he thinks he is. Okay. This is where I help men in that area right there. As in the book, I'm helping men here. You resort to an outside source, or you find solace in an outside source that you think is helping you, when in actuality, all it does is prolong the hurt that's already there. It just prolong it. It doesn't take it away. So while he sleeps with her all night, how mad is he? You slept with this woman all night.
He's tired and man.
Yeah, he tired and man. So now you sleep with you sleep with this woman all night. No, but he gets up still mad. Wait a minute. We've been taught from the street that if I have sex, I'm going to feel better. As a man, women are not taught that, but as a man, if I just sleep with a man, look, I knocked out the part, I'm feel good. But what I found out in my own experiences that the sex alone with no lap only brings a good feeling, but it don't bring a wholeness. It's a temporary band-aid, but it is not whole, because up under the band-aid, I am still broken. I am still wounded.
So listen. The way that you're breaking this book down, I think it's amazing, because for those who aren't in church, who don't know the scripture, who don't know exactly what it is you're talking about, they still can relate to what you're saying as well. Okay, so listen. So all right, so he goes and he's looking for a lap. So could that mean that could be why some men possibly are going from woman to woman
Absolutely.
to woman to woman,
Yes.
because
Yes.
they're looking for
That safe place, that lap. He doesn't find it in his wife, which you made it clear. He doesn't find the lap in the prostitute. So now I've been through 2 laps and have not found what
So
I'm
wait, back up, because the scripture does say that he fell in love with Delilah.
Wait, we're going to get to Delilah.
Okay.
No, we don't. The 2 laps is the wife and the prostitute.
Well, Delilah was a prostitute. What was she?
No, she not. And watch how I'm gonna show you. You gotta stay with me. Don't go ahead of me. Stay with me.
Okay.
Watch how I deal with this situation, because we give biblical character stuff that the Bible don't talk about.
And that all this is in your book?
It's in the book. All
Okay.
of this is in the book. So now he's with the prostitute. The Bible says he wakes up in the morning and he finds out they want to kill him because he done burnt up their crop. They where he's at, they said, look, we're gonna turn you in. We're gonna turn you in. He's like, look, just don't kill me. We're not gonna kill you, but we're gonna turn you into those people that you done burnt up their crop. On their way to take him to be judged, he grabs the jawbone of an ass and he kills another 1,000 people. 1,000 men. How mad is that's big man? That's big man. You kill
Not had nothing to do with it.
not with a sword, not with a dagger, a gun, a jawbone of an ass. You kill 1,000 men. Now, why you ain't exhausted? You just slept with a prostitute all night, but you were able to get you is mad. You is hurt. You are broken. You are at this broken place. And when you're at a broken place, watch this.
You're not tired.
When you're at a broken place, you don't know where to watch this. If you're not careful as a man, you will put your energy in the wrong place.
The wrong place or the wrong person.
So he's broken and he's looking for places to put this brokenness. So he goes to the prostitute. First he burns up a crop. It didn't help him. Then he goes to the prostitute. It didn't help him. Now he kills 1,000 men and he's still not helped, because look what happens next. He takes the doors off the city and carried them to the mountain. He's angry.
Mm-hmm.
The next time we see Samson on the lap of Delilah. Now watch this. Everybody makes Delilah a prostitute. Scripture don't call her a prostitute. The scripture says he slept with a prostitute. All it says is this: he loved Delilah. How is it that y'all move? It don't say he loved his wife, but it does say he loved Delilah. If he moved to the place of love, and because, come on, BFF, you and I both understand love. If it moved to the place of love, this wasn't a relationship that just happened that day. This was a relationship that no one knew about, because he's at a place of, it says he loved her. So this is a relationship that they had that no one knew about. He was able to run, come on, me alone. He knew he could go to Delilah. He gets to Delilah. He knows these people want to kill him. Let me show you something that's so powerful that people miss. He knows these people want to kill him. He runs to Delilah, and two things powerful happen. He is on her lap, smack, fast asleep. How powerful is your wife, your woman's lap, that can make you sleep in the midst of your enemies?
Okay, so listen, that sounds good. That's good, but listen, but he still lies to her. He lays on the
We
lap
gonna
and
get there.
he still lies to her. I
We
mean,
gonna get there. We
okay,
gonna get there. We
okay,
gonna get there. We
okay.
gonna get there. That's what happened when you deal with preachers who know the Bible, or should I say Christians that know the Bible. We gonna get there. Here, remember earlier. Now we talked about how a man struggles with telling his secrets, because the second thing she asks him, she says, "Samson, what's your secrets?"
Mhm.
She asks a question that opened him up. But now he just experienced the last woman I tried to tell a secret used it against me. So while I want to share and I love you, I'm still a little bit cautious because I don't know how you are going to handle my secret. Because remember now, I'm comparing this lap to the last lap. This is the mistake that men and women make. If we make a comparison to the last pain that we have, we make a comparison to the last situation that we dealt with. Okay. So here, Delilah asked him, "What's your secrets?" And we know through a series of different times, he eventually tells her. I don't want to deal with what the secret about. I don't want to stop at what happened right away. I that's closer to the end of the book. I deal with the fact is that she created a space that he could love her, that he finds comfortable enough to close his eyes. He don't even feel them cutting his hair. How asleep are you? As a woman, can you create a lap that your man feels comfortable enough that in the midst of his enemies, he can go to sleep? Can he trust that lap right there? Can he trust that lap? That he's in the midst of his enemies, he is fast asleep. How powerful is that lap? That you say, I know what you're dealing with. I know how vulnerable you are. There are men, do you know that there are men, and you know because you've been around, who've been molested, who have been raped, and they've never told that story because she doesn't create the lap that he can feel comfortable in telling it.
So now with you saying that, I do believe that if he can trust you enough to share certain things, that's an open door for him to be healed in all those areas that he's been carrying the most of his life.
Absolutely. But now you have to create that space for him to do it. One of the stories I talk about is Kirk Franklin and his wife. We know it's out there. Kirk Franklin talks about his pornography struggles. Okay. But I was watching a show not too long ago about the woman behind the man. And I listened to his wife talks about when she gets to that area, she said, let me tell y'all, we were not arguing about him and his pornography issue. We were not, she didn't even really deal with or know it. She said one day he came and says, I want to tell you something. She created such a lap that he says, I want to tell you the things that I struggle with. Here's a man that's one of the biggest phenomena in the world, and he struggled with his marriage being broken because he was always on the road. So they go through 4 years, Smack, 4 years of counseling, 4 years of saying, we got to get this together because even though I'm changing the world with my songs, my marriage is falling apart.
Okay.
And then he tells her, probably while he's on the road, probably in hotel rooms, he's watching pornography. He's dealing with that issue. He's struggling with this, but he can't tell her that. She doesn't ask him about it. She says on the show, she created a space that one day he said, babe, I want to tell you the truth about what I do when you're not around. I want to tell you what happens when I go down to my office. I want to tell you what happens when I'm down in the living room and you're not there. I struggle and I watch pornography every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Oh, it's a couple of men that it's a couple of men that struggle with that in marriages or just struggle with it that are preaching the gospel and they are afraid to share it or they don't have a place to share it because of feeling like they're going to be judged.
How can you be the man to God? How can you be this big star? And you dealing with that, especially if that's not introduced in your life or in your home. And so now he doesn't know how to say, I'm not in love with the women on there. It is something that I am struggling with. It is something that I am dealing with. And I don't know how to come to you without you looking at me side-eye. Here's an example. The Bible says, who can find the virtuous woman? And one of the things it talks about the virtuous woman, it says, and his heart, which is one of my chapters in the book, does safely trust her. In that chapter, I discuss the place of trust and oneness in any relationships and the benefits. What could make a man fall asleep so soundly that he had to be awakened with his enemies wrapped around him? He is so asleep that it is no short of her lap being comfortable. Samson is surrounded by his enemies, yet he could sleep with his eyes closed because he knew that as long as he was on Delilah's lap, his safety is assured. What a trust he knew that she would do anything or not do anything to hurt him. His heart does safely trust her. Can I tell you about my vulnerability while I'm married to you? Now here's what I was talking to 3 women who were saying, oh, I can't, what do you mean you downstairs doing this and you in your office doing that and you in your own? And I'm saying that's the problem. Your reaction to his struggle is why he don't tell you.
Well, I'll say as a woman that would mean that there's something inside of her that causes her to jump to the defense. You know, of course, I'm going to ask 1,000 questions. Was I not enough? Do you need something else? You know what I mean?
Right. It has nothing. My struggle
has nothing to do with her.
Has nothing to do. When I went through, when I was married when my children was born, and I was dealing with my own issues of being out on the road when my children was born. And one of the things that is so very crazy is I had to say to my ex, because that was her question. And I said, my struggle had nothing to do with you. You are an amazing woman. You are an amazing wife. It's my struggle. But 2 things, you got 2 kind of women. You got those women like you that ask that question, or then you got the other women that you automatically, well, I'm done. I'm out. So to keep from hearing either one of those response, he just keep it to himself. There are men right now today, Smack, been married 20 years, struggling with things that their wife don't know about. Been married 30 years, dealing with things that their wife know absolutely nothing about. And it beats them up. Because Kurt now talks about it was eating him up. It was beating him up. He felt like, I don't want to do this, but I can't go. The person who could help me, because remember now, you're my help meet. My not my MEAT, but my MEET. What does it mean to be help meet? When God said Eve is his help meet, it simply means that your man sometimes comes with shortcomings. So you are my extension. You're my if my lamp can't reach that socket, you become the extension cord. I have some shortcomings. So I need to be able to trust the fact that if nothing else, you got a powerful prayer life. With the fact is that what are you helping him meet? Can you simply say, okay, baby, I know you're struggling with that area, but I'm gonna love you through this.
So, but okay. So, would you think that would come with being in the white lat? because sometimes you could be in the wrong lap
Yes,
expecting for her to give you something that she doesn't have
she can't.
because you're in the wrong lap.
Absolutely. There are some people you look for if the person to love you on the same level that you love them, but sometimes people don't have the capacity
Don't
to
have it.
love you that way. And what happens is you beat yourself up because you want them to do it and they can't do it. You want them, in other words, Bishop Jake says it like this: you are a gallon of love, and she or he or they, let me say they, are a pint of love. The problem is that you need to accept the fact that that's all they got is a pint of love.
Wow.
And if I could, because you do know you can actually get satisfied with that pint. If you understood, if I go to the store and buy a pint of milk or that little milk carton, you can actually enjoy that little milk jar. You don't really need that gallon. You know why you can enjoy it? Because you accept that I purchased that pint. When you accept that your spouse, be it male or female, this is all they have to give me, you embrace what they have to give you. Now, they may grow to a quart. They may even grow to a gallon. But what happens if all they are is a pint and they never do any more? You're expecting, we all do it. You're expecting more from that person. What happens when your spouse or your wife, because we're talking from a man point of view, doesn't have a lap?
Exactly.
When she doesn't have a lap, she doesn't know how to give a lap because maybe she comes from a broken family. Maybe she comes from a mother who was angry. How many baby mamas has been angry that child's whole life? So that daughter now look at men through angry eyes that her mother gave her. So she
Exactly.
doesn't know how to be a lap because my mother has been angry the whole 18 years. My mother talked about my father and said he was no good. So maybe all men are no good because you remember now, you shape your children.
Exactly.
So what you give your children at home, they will go out and have in relationship. So you shape your children. If you are angry from the time your children are born, they will experience, that's what they will give their spouse. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is in a great relationship. She's got a good boyfriend. As a matter of fact, his name is Michael. I said, yeah, stick with him, okay? But she asked me, Dad, do you think some of my issues in relationship with a man extends from you not being there? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. You never saw a lap presented, so you don't know how to present a lap. What happens when you marry a woman who doesn't have a lap? Can you help her get one? Yes. If y'all can buy fake everything else, if y'all if y'all can if y'all can purchase everything else, why can't you invest in a lap? How do you do that, Mike? You invest in reading books that teach you how to have a lap. One of the greatest movies that's ever been created is The War Room.
So listen, but this is what I believe. This is just me.
Mhm.
So it's good to be. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Because I just feel like some. I know you're saying some people just don't know. You know what I mean? Like they
They
just
don't.
they don't have a clue. You know, they don't. It's not in them. It may never be in them. So what
Correct.
do you do?
So we got to be very careful because you don't want to find solace in the wrong lap. The girl up the street, the woman on your job. And sometimes this is how people fall into situations because the woman on their job, they're just going out to a friendly lunch, a co-worker lunch. But they start saying stuff like, I'm dealing with this and my wife don't understand. You know, I ask questions like this. I used to say, as a wife, how come you can't pick up, I didn't have a good day? And ask, what's wrong? I've asked that in my relationships. How come you never ask me, Are you okay?
Because
What's
it
wrong?
may not, it listen again, it may not be in them. um I remember my father said something, and I guess he was, I don't know whether it was him or my mother, so I'll take that back, but I know it was in the sermon they were teaching. And my father said that he desires to be held. My father is a strong, my dad is strong, very stern black man. Would have never known that that was a desire of his, that he wanted to be held. So I say that to say sometimes you may have to tell a person, because you could be doing everything else right and it may not be what he needs or what
Well,
he's.
we lead by example. If I'm asking you, if I'm picking up from that something is not right, and I'm asking you what's wrong, are you okay? What's the matter? How was your day? We lead by example. A lot of times men, watch this, will not say, I need this from you. Unfortunately, we should. Unless you have a man who's a talker like myself, most men will not say, I need this from you. But now watch this. I am a talker. I have said it. And there were times I didn't receive it. Now, there were times that I did. I have said, I need more from you. I need to be able to come off. When you preach like I preach, to come down off of that kind of situation, and sometimes not feeling like it was the best sermon ever, sometimes not feeling like so I need to be able to come off of that situation and tell you I don't feel right today.
When you say I need more, I'm going to be like, I can't talk for everybody. I'm going to be like, well, baby, more like what? What is it that you need? I'm not. Like you, my friends always said, "Show you like a dude." Well, I want to know in detail, what do you need me to do? I don't want to play the game of the guessing
And
game.
that's the woman side of you, because women are very detailed people. You got to understand that you are a waffle. Women are detailed and compartmentalized people, where men are spaghetti. Everything just runs together. So we don't know how to do details. We know how. We know how to. Are you okay? What do you need? Babe, I just need you. That's his answer, and you don't know what that means.
No,
You
because
don't know what it means to me. What do you mean? You just need me?
most women are going to think, "Oh, so you want some sex?" Well,
Yes.
he might not want no sex.
Nope.
Well, you want me to just sit here? They don't know. Just like how their men are saying, well, you expect for me to guess it, figure it out. I don't know.
Right.
Some women need detail, like,
and we have to get better at it. While we're telling you guys to be more open, we have to be open. But here's where his openness comes. You got to be able to look around you. Where is his comfort zone? Where does he find better? I need to be able to go to where his comfort zone is, because that's where I'm going to get the answers. Okay, so his comfort zone is he loves sports. So Sunday afternoon, instead of me going upstairs to read a book, I know he watching the game. I'm going to go where the game is.
yeah,
I'm going to buy a jersey of his team. You come downstairs with the team jersey on.
right.
You'll be like, wait a minute. Now, I'm not talking about the sexy part of it. I'm not talking about with the legs out. I'm talking about you got on your jeans, you sitting there, and you got on a team jersey and said, babe, I brought you one.
You would definitely get an emotional reaction.
Now he like, and you said, he know you don't know nothing about sports. And I'm just sitting here with you.
You're supporting him.
So now you done went to so now you remember, now he's already in his comfort zone. Right. He know he can be cool there, because this is what I do. I'm in my man cave. How is it? Let me show you the lie that came up. They created a man cave to put men further into the secret. You created a man cave to put me further into hiding, because the word cave means hide. You push me further into hiding, because watch this. You built me a man cave and left the cave.
Wow.
You built me a man cave and don't come in it. So now you push me further into my dark space, instead of saying, I built this man cave for us. Now, I might not be there every day, but I'm coming in the man cave. Because remember now, you're the king of the jungle. You're the king of the man cave, but the man cave got a queen. And the queen is coming in. If I don't do nothing else, I done brought you this big screen TV.
I'm coming in.
I'm coming in. So now I'm going to sit next to you. I'm not going to. Now, what you can do is sit next to him and ask him 50 million questions because you're going to mess up the comfort zone. Well, who is this and what are they doing? But if you sit there and you watching his excitement, he going to say to you, because ain't nobody else there, babe, oh my God, I can't believe y'all messing up like that. Now, now he's starting to gel with you because he going to start telling you, that's the quarterback right there. Or that's the he gonna start sharing because he's comfortable.
Yeah,
he's comfortable. Watch this, and you created the lap. You are saying,
that's
I want to be in your world. I want to be part of your world. It's like for a woman when a man go out shopping with her now, especially if you have a man that there are women that love their man around them in certain spaces, and it just does something to her because he's there. Well, men are the same way. It's now you done messed him up because not only do you look great in this jersey, I don't care. His boy can wear the jersey over every day. He doesn't look like you. So not only do you look great, but you went past yourself and you created a lap by saying, I'm on the same team as you. Because now you created. So his psyche don't see the Cowboys, because I ain't talking about nobody else but the Cowboys because I'm a Cowboy. His psyche don't see the Cowboy. His psyche see you just play with his subconscious because you're telling him we a team. We're not enemies. We're not on the opposite side of the field. We are a team. Just like they are a team, we are a team. And since we are a team, the team is in here. The team is going on a trip. The team is going to eat. The team is going. So now you're the team. What happens in the team? Every team has what? A huddle.
Mm-hmm.
Every team has a huddle. And watch this. This is going to bless you. A play is never called until they go into the huddle.
Wow, that's good.
So you can't call a play on the house situation. You can't call a play on the children. You can't call a play on anything in our life until you come in the huddle. You will not call a play. I don't take my money that I made just because I made it and say I'm going to go out and buy a new car or I'm going to go out and buy a PlayStation because I didn't go to the huddle. You can't call a play until you go in the huddle. Because when you go in the huddle, you find out that play might be the wrong play. You got to create such a huddle. You create that lap that I, as a man, says to you, you say, babe, go ahead, buy what you want. You know what he says? No, babe, the money is in. What do you think we need to do?
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends, and I'm not gonna call their name, his wife says to me, he is such a strong man. When he take his money, he want to pay all the bills. When he take his money, it's my money, it's my money. And I had to say, it's not your money. It's your money.
It's y'all's money, right?
And guess what? You are not good at it. I learned that in my marriage. In my marriage, when I was married, I learned this. One of us are better at paying the bills. Maybe I'm not the one that's good at that as a man, but I got to be strong enough. Here's a moment that men feel weak. But really, if you do it, it'll make you strong. I got to be strong enough to say, guess what, Shell? I know you're better at this than me. I know you're better at that than me. So since I know you're better at it, what really makes me strong is my heart does safely trust you. Mm-hmm. I trust you. So my wives were so good at they make sure they keep the first of the month in their head. They know what bills need to be paid. Why am I fighting talking about, well, I'm a man and I'm gonna pay all? No, that's crazy. That doesn't make me strong. That really makes me weak.
Makes you look crazy.
It makes you look crazy. And now, y'all, the electric is off. Now the water is off. Now y'all about to get evicted because I'm trying to be a man. Instead of saying, you know what, babe, this your area. You're good at it. Call that play. The play is that's your area of expertise. I'm going out here and make it. You going out here and spend it, but we good at it. That is what the team do. And that's part of the book.
So I think that I think you're giving us a whole lot of nuggets, a whole lot of points. So to close us out, what is the narrative of this whole book, of this whole message that you want people to get out of what you wrote?
Finding solace in the right lap. We do share a bad lap when we talk about the haircut, when we talk about the prickly lap. This one of the chapters is called the prickly lap, and the prickly lap talks about nobody wants to lay their head on a bunch of thorns. Because remember, while you are a rose, every rose have a thorn, but if it's handled right, you can get rid of the thorn. Because watch this, the thorn, Smack, you're gonna love this. The thorn doesn't make the rose.
True.
The rose is beautiful with and without the thorns.
Mm-hmm.
But the thorns are not beautiful without the rose. I, as a man, want the rose, but I don't want the thorns. I can't lay on the thorns. I can't lay on the prickly spot. Now, I do deal with the fact is that every garden comes with weeds. Adam meets his wife in a garden. But when you purchase a garden, you do know you purchase the flowers and the weeds. Mm-hmm. You gotta shape her. Women hate to hear this word, but I gotta share it this way. Adam is a gardener. He tills the ground. God gives him everything and he tells him to work on it. When he gives him his wife, you have to be able to understand she's a flower. But my brother taught me, because he had a green thumb, he talked to the plants every day and he took off all the dead leaves. He got rid of all the things so sometimes you got to be able to prune around your wife, be able to speak good things to her, be able to talk about how powerful you is and how awesome, and you make my day. I talk about Steve Harvey in the book and his wife. Coming from a broken situation, 2 failed marriages. He finds a woman. Watch this. I got to leave this to it with you. She says to him, one day Steve is on the phone with another woman in his office, but and his wife, which is his girlfriend, is at the house. He hears footsteps on the floor. He comes out. Where you going? She says, obviously, you got to do that. And I'm going to let you do that right now. I'm going to go home. And when you're ready, if I'm still available, come get me. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't angry. He said she didn't throw nothing. She created a lap so powerful. He said that day he broke his phone and threw it across the floor because she created a lap, not through anger, not through mad. She says to him, I'm going to let you do what you need to get out of you. And I'm going to be over here. And if I'm available, come get me. I talk about Barack Obama and Michelle. It's a very powerful book. So what I want to get out of it is that there is a woman, Steve says this all the time, that you will share your secret with. There is a woman that you will feel comfortable to trust. There is a woman that you will find solace in it. And if we're going to build great relationships, we've got to go back to finding that space with each other, finding that place. It says Samson loved. It didn't say he slept with Delilah. Don't say that. It said he loved her. But love in and of itself is not enough. It's not just the words or the action. It's what you create for me to be able to simply say, here is a space, your safe place. My lap is your safe place. So let me do this before you close. Everyone who watches this replay in 24 hours. It is, give me the time. It is what time?
That's right.
It is 20 minutes to 10, 9:40, 9:40. 24 hours. Everyone who watches this, because everyone who watched the replay, you are my BFF. I love you. This is what I'm going to do for your audience tonight. Tonight only, you got 24 hours. The book is $19.99 to pre-order your book. It's coming out. We're looking at a date between the 7th and the 10th. They were looking at Valentine's Day, which I thought was very powerful because it could come out. But I want to get it out before that because some people may purchase it to hand to their spouse on Valentine's Day. So, or they be in the mail so that you can get it. Pre-order. Everyone who pre-orders in a 24-hour period, everyone who pre-order, instead of $19.99, this is for the Keep It 100 audience. The Keep It 100 audience. Everyone who pre-orders this book, I'm going to drop it from $19.99 to $15.99. I'm going to drop it down because this is my BFF show. I love her tremendously. You can reach me. My Cash App is PMCMIN is my Cash App. And when you do the Cash App, please put your address in there so that we'll be able to mail the book out to you. And Zella, which is a wonderful new platform. If you don't have Cash App, my Zella email address is m.claiborne@yahoo.com. And on Zella, you also can put in, please tell me you got the show you saw it on, and put your address, because I have someone who sent me a Zella and I don't have an address and I don't know how to reach them because people watch this show or they watch different shows that I'm on and they're not my friend. So if you are a friend of Keep It 100, if you're an audience of Keep It 100, I may not know you personally, so I can't find you on Facebook, but put it in there that this is my address and we will get it out to you just for the Keep It 100 fan, for Michelle A., my BFF, my heart. She knows it. For her audience, $15.99. I want to say thank you so much for being my first interview, getting my book out there. I know you are 100% in my corner and backing it, and I appreciate it. Hope that we share some good things, that everybody can go out and purchase that book.
I want to say thank you. I thought that everything that you gave us was informational, some awesome nuggets. Really ripped it about Samson and Delilah. You ripped that. But I want to say thank you for just opening up to us and being transparent, and allowing us to be able to know who the author was behind this amazing book. So I will be purchasing mine, and you guys that are viewing, make sure that you purchase yours as well. All right. Anything else you want to say before?
No, listen. Tomorrow we'll be interviewing tomorrow 8:30 with the Sid Connection. It's going to be real powerful. It's going to be 8:30. It's going to be a Facebook Live. They too are going to be talking about the book. So just, follow me. Definitely, follow Keep It 100. I told all of my friends, I put it over on Instagram. I put it over on Facebook. Tag, like her page, Keep It 100. My BFF is always doing something amazing. I'm going to have, getting back to my show, Hard Topics, and so we're going to have her on this so you guys can hear her story. A lot of young people see you smiling, they see you laughing, but they don't know how you got to this space, to this place where you are, to doing this kind of show. And her story is going to bless you. A cancer survivor, 4 times. Y'all, I mean, she knows she is one of my sheroes and always have been. She has a lot of stories, surviving depression, surviving low self-esteem, unforgiveness. There's a lot, and she's going to be on my show, and we're going to have her on there. But I thank you so much. Listen, go right now. Hit me on Cash App. Hit me on Zella. Right under the comments, to go to Michelle A. page and tell her how you appreciate this show. She's going to be bringing more shows like this. There's some other authors, more things like that. She's always doing something. But tell her how you like the show. And if you can't reach me on any of those platforms, she can reach me. So you can always inbox her and say, Michelle, I want to get the book. I forgot to get the Cash App. How do you do it? And she'll send you all of that. She knows how to reach and touch me. And if you want to interview, you can't reach me, Michelle is definitely my go-to. You reach out to her, she'll get to you about me. I love you. You know I do.
You too. Have an amazing night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for viewing.